with a father that has bankrupted his soul, his life, his body, his mind, his finance, everything in the behalf of everyone that ever came through his loins. All 82 of them. And everyone that's ever set up under his gospel. And here we are at the end of time. He's in the fourth quarter. Ninth inning. However long, if it's a week or 5 years or 10, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to his voice. And he's saying, it's some type of way reachable. Sometimes. And it hit me over in Jeremiah. I said, the devil is about rap. He's the last of a generation. The devil is just about wrapped individuals up in mercy. Have mercy, God. It said in Jeremiah, if you have traveled with the footmen and they wearied you, how are you going to deal with the horsemen? If you here on earth with an intercessor, he don't go nowhere. He don't go to malls and hang out. He go from church to home, to church to visit the sick, church to home, to witness, to do this thing. If you can't get right with an intercessor that's here with you every day, hold the devil back, praying against spirits, praying this. If you can't come down to an altar and give your life to God with that alive while it's still here, when he's gone, you're going to be done. If you can't do it while he's here every day with that power, 67 years of power, fasting and praying, he's there for you. If you can't make a move, my God. It's like having Michael Jordan on your team, my God. And you're not going to take advantage of it. But you're going to deal one-on-one with the devil after it's over. He said, if you can't deal with the footman, not where you should be, spiritually immature, sitting up under this, every day, faith not where it should be, still carnal as grass, getting attitudes with people, dogging people out, politicking, talking about this and that. You've been up under this guy. And while he's here, interceding for you, if you can't get your experience right, your faith right, sanctified for real, rooted and grounded in this truth for real, if you can't do it, half coming to church, doing what you want to do, cutting corners whenever you want to, doing what you with him here.
Good word, brother. Good word, brother. What we gonna do?
You may have somebody come up and say some words. Oh, glory be to God. It's the Bible. It's one. You have a lot of people in the Word, but not many fathers. Not many that will give up life teaching you night and day about apostasy. Not something he read about, but something he lived through. Seen it a mile away, 2 miles away, seen it, know what it looks like, call it by name, my God. You still can't get a vision, still want to mess around with Babylon, still want to mess around with compromise, still want to go behind the same flag, going here and going there. You still can't get it right?
Come on.
Are you serious? You don't got a clear vision than this? No, I need the pastor to tell me this. He should have called a saints meeting. He should have said, if you knew a father just hints and you understand. Get a real father. Get a real father, my God. He hints. Matter of fact, a real father don't say nothing he's speaking. With the father there. With an intercessor there. Wow. There's gas in the tank. Wow. There's still time on the clock. My God, I would make a move.
Amen.
And say, Lord, may I get in. May I get grounded. May I get established. Because the main ones that's got a lot to say will cause him the most problems when he gone. The main ones that got a lot to say about that, a lot to say about it, be the main ones causing a lot of problems when he gone. But while he's here, they say, well, how can I say thank you, Pastor? How can I say that? Jesus came and he healed 10 lepers. He didn't want no money. He didn't want no this, that, and the other. One of them came back and said, thank you. He said, where are the 9? I gave my life for you. Wouldn't that be a sad testimony? Pastor passes away. Gave his life praying for you, but he never seen the day. Did you walk down to an altar of prayer? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Pastor, I made it in, brother. I'm here for you. I'm here to hold you up. You ever get a few steps left? Stand up with Johnny. You ever get a few steps left? But I'm here. I'm going to be like Aaron and her. Your last few steps, I'll make sure you don't slip. I'll make sure I got you. Just go sit it. Go sit it. Go sit. Listen, you can help me physically walk up here, but he's saying, I don't need you physically. I need you spiritually. I need you to pray for me. I need you to be right there for me. I need you to support me. I need you to be right there. Mess around, my God. God will put some more time on the clock, my God. You done got inspired. Then got encouraged, my God. God bless, my God. The Father as an intercessor. Talking to the pastor. We're saying this, that, and the other. He looked at me like I was, he said, what? I said, man, I want you to be able to run it. I want you to be able to do it. I want you, he looked at me like, you concerned about me. He said, and you the one. You got to raise all these children in this wicked, terrible, sick world. You got to deal with that 8 beast, apostasy, compromise, false spirits rising up above. You got to deal with all this stuff. He said, bro, laughing. And you'll be, oh, please. You don't get it, do you? You, if you really got it, you wouldn't be crying for me. You'd be weeping for yourself. Fathers as intercessors. We appreciate the fathers that come out tonight, this morning. We appreciate the parents, the children that have come to support their fathers. But the greatest blessing you can give is what John said. I have no greater joy than to know that my children walk in the truth. The best thank you could ever give is saying, Lord, my heavenly Father, I'm giving my life to you. That's as far as we'll go this morning. The pastor did want to leave space for any children that would like to give reflections on their parents or their father. And he often says, even if it's a mother that's been there as a father figure, or if your father is no longer here, but you want to give reflections on him as well. And you never want a service to go. You want to be saved this morning. If you need spiritual help this morning, we're going to make space for that as well. So at this time, if we can get a microphone over here, we're going to give space to those that would like to give reflections to fathers. Sister Maria, I don't know if Pastor Hampton got it on. He was going to press out. He didn't feel up to it. So he is tuning in. So if you want to give him a shout out, you can do that as well. Amen. So we turn it over now for a few moments to give reflections.
Is it on?
This is for my pastor, my spiritual father, the greatest example, my teacher, whose life is the gospel. This is for my pastor, a true man of God, my hero. You give it all without expecting anything in the return. Pastor, father, dad, today is your day. I am very proud to tell the whole world just how much I love you. This is for my pastor, the most generous man. No wonder your wife chose you as a husband. You are a living example. And even though you don't say it, if you see me happy, I know you are pleased. Thank you. You are the best pastor, the best father, the best friend. Thank you for your love I don't know who else in this entire world will have the kindness and mercy to listen and dry my tears. Pastor, 1,000 thank yous are not enough. Your advice, your guidance have marked the way of holiness for me to walk in. You truly have made attractive the way. This is for my pastor. Thank you for teaching me how to walk with dignity, with compassion, with mercy. You truly are my very best friend. Today, all I want today is for time to stand still. I still need you. I like talking to you. I like cooking for you. I like to see your name on my caller ID when you call me to check on me. I am so happy you are my pastor, my confidant, and my friend. Because of you, my family is full of God. A million thank yous, Dad.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, and especially my father, Brother Charles.
My Lord.
To me, my dad is everything, as you guys may already know. And I just want to stand on behalf of my siblings. I was just reflecting on a time when my dad was really there for me. I was a bad child, I will say that. And I stopped going to school in high school. I think I passed the 9th grade, and I just decided I was not going to school anymore. And my dad would come home on his lunch break, and he would see me in the bed, and I was just there. I just decided I'm not going to school anymore. And so later on, let's say a couple of months passed, I decided to go to Job Corps. And those that may not know what Job Corps is usually for, like a court-ordered school or place where the children can go that are bad, and we get vocational training. So my dad was like, okay, I'll let you go. I was 16, and I signed myself up, and he took me down to Cleveland. So we pulled into the gate, and the security guards were there, and I was there, a new student. And so they were, getting my stuff out the car, and they were like, okay, pretty much my dad could leave now. But my dad was like, no, I want to walk around and see, what this place is about. And they were like, really? They're like, usually parents just drop their kids off and go. Like, no one wants to walk around and see what's going on here. But my dad was like, no, I want to walk around and see what's going on. So he went through the dorms and went through the rec center and making sure everything was together. Then he came back to me. He was like, Bessie, they don't have an iron. Here's $25 so you can get you an iron. And he just made sure, yes, you may be that bad child or that child that, many had given up on, but I'm here for you, even in this time. And even the staff were really impressed, like, your dad came and seen this and that. And I was just like, my dad has been there for all of us. Like, even my sister, when she was going through her accident, my dad took off weeks of work just to be down in Georgia with her and just stand in the gap for our family. My brother Julian has taken up the trade of electrician, and he was in town working, and this lady, she didn't know Jew, and she was like, you know what you're doing? You sure you know what you're doing? He like, my father? She like, who? And he was like, Charles Williams. She like, oh, you good? Yeah, go ahead, do what you gonna do. And even my brother Thaddeus, Dad is a go-getter like my dad. I mean, my dad is retired and he still works full-time. I'm like, Dad, you need an assistant or something to keep all your little jobs together. But I just really appreciate my dad. This is a poem that I saw online, and I just wanted to read it. He never looks for praise. He's never one to boast. He just goes on quietly working for those he loved the most. His dreams are seldom spoken. His wants are very few. And most of the time, his worries will go unspoken too. He's there, a firm foundation. Through all the storms of life, a sturdy hand to hold. In times of stress and strife, a true friend we can turn to. When times are good or bad, one of our greatest blessings, the man we call Dad. Thank you.
Well, I'm 53 years old, but I'm still a child. So I thank God first for my Heavenly Father, but also in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, is a 92-year-old man that is my earthly father, and I wasn't raised in the church. But I do thankful for what I can glean from his example. And my dad, he worked every day, so he taught me without speaking to have a good work ethic, and that in almost 56 years of marriage to my mother, who passed away about 9 years ago, that he never said a bad word about my mother. I'm one of 7 children, and we can say that in all that years of marriage, he never put my mother in a negative light in front of us, so I really appreciate that. Also, if I may turn the tables just a little bit, and not to embarrass himself, but I do want to just say I appreciate my son who's having his first Father's Day this today. And so the Bible says in Proverbs, a wise son maketh a glad father. And I want to say that scripture has been fulfilled in my life. And I'm very proud, very happy for my children both. And I taught them as much as I could through the years that they were under my roof. But one thing I always told them, or at least on one occasion, is I said, the saints may never know how to spell or correctly pronounce our last name, but they better always know it as a good name. So I'm very grateful that both of them have fulfilled that for me in my life, and that today I can have a happy Father's Day.
On that note, any good thing that I have, I really do thank God for my parents and just how they raised me. And even when we weren't in the best place, maybe in a congregation where we needed to be, but I feel like what my dad taught me helped me to see the church and for what it really was and for what it was not. And I just thank God so much for my dad and for my mom as well, and just for their love and support.
I'd like to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. And I want to say a special Happy Father's Day to my pastor. I was just a young girl when I came to the church. I had a stepfather who was wonderful. He was good to all of us children that weren't his. But when I came to the Church of God and I saw Brother Hampton, I watched how he treated Sister Hampton. I watched how he treated the children. I watched how they talked to one another. I had never seen anything like it. Of all the couples that I had seen in life. And I thought they just faking in front of me. They really not like this. I would try to sneak when I go to their house and just see if I hear anything. I never saw anything differently. My Lord. At any time. At any time. Pastor Hampton has been a real father. And the thought of him not being here anymore is just overwhelming. I can only imagine what his children must feel. I appreciate how he stood for this truth. I've seen a lot of things. Some things I didn't understand what was going on. But as the spiritual leader of the congregation, he never once, whatever was going on and how serious it might have been, it wasn't something that was not conquerable by God. It wasn't something that we're gonna fold under with this. God is gonna bring us through this. God is gonna see us through. I just appreciate him so much. I could say so much about Pastor Hampton, but I appreciate him. I went to see him. He said, how long you been a part of the church? And I said, it's been 48 years since I've been saved. He said, you better not mess up, girl. And by the grace of God, I don't mean to mess up. I don't mean to fail God now. I just appreciate him so much. I wonder sometimes, where would I be in life had not Pastor Hampton heeded the message and moved to Jackson? I would not have known about the Church of God at all, at all. And I'm so grateful today. I'm so thankful to be a part of the Church of God. I'm thankful to be able to say that Pastor Hampton was my pastor. And I don't mean to let him down in any way. I don't want to let God down, but I certainly don't want to let Pastor Hampton down. Thank you.
Glad to sit in my seat today, but my wife let me know I need to be over here and speak on behalf of what Brother Hampton has been to us. My sister texted me, said you need to go over there and speak on behalf of what Brother Hampton has been to us. But I don't want it to be sad, because that's not what I remember. So just to clarify the record for everybody here, I'm the only official Hampton outside of the Hampton family. First, I'll say for my dad, if he's here, well, I love my dad. My dad, happy Father's Day. But I'm only official. I don't think there's anybody else. If you are here and you've received the razor strap from Brother Hampton, raise your hand if you're not a Hampton. So I'm the only official one that got the razor strap outside of being a Hampton family. The occasion was the Hamptons were on Summit Street, 207 Summit. Said, Hampton said, I told you all, but we don't run up down the stairs. Me and Basil had created a little basketball goal out of a hanger, and we placed it in the hallway. And so we would go halfway up the stairs where Hampton was up there studying, and we run down, we jump, and we dunk, different kind of ways. We were trying to dunk, do a little dunk contest. So Basil was a little lighter on his feet than I was, so my dunks were kind of hard. And boom, Hampton, come to the step and says something. He walks downstairs. We're standing on the side. We're in trouble now. He has his hands like this. And he says, didn't I tell you guys, stop jumping, run the hallway? I'm terrified. I'm like, yes, sir. And Basil knew what was coming, so he was like easing away. I was still kind of close. But having to stand there, he said, I'm not going to can't keep repeating myself and telling you guys not to do this. And bam, he pulled that strap out. He had a razor strap. He had a real razor strap, and he got us with that razor strap. So that's my occasion. There's so many different things about what happened. Me and my sister LaVon came, my mother here. I think the first time me and LaVon visited with my dad was like 1973. And we came back in with my mom in like 74, and Robin was our babysitter, and Marcina Hampton would always comb my hair till it hurt. She used to comb my hair so hard it hurt. I remember that all the time. But I just remember spending so much time with Brother Hampton, not just here where he imparted Church of God and spiritual principles into our life, but as a person, where he got out in the morning with me, Marcina, Donna, Nita, and Basil, and he jogged with us. And he ran with us physically, jogged and ran. He's like, we're going to race to this thing. And we couldn't beat him racing. Keep in mind, he's in his 40s probably at that time. When I was a young man, his life, what he did, I wanted to do. He boxed, so I boxed. He played football, so I played football. He played basketball, so I played basketball. There's so many different things. As I grew older, one of my favorite Pastor Hampton stories is, as a young guy, keep in mind I was single at this time, okay? But I got in some trouble for having conversations with young sisters at the church, more than one at a time. Brother Hampton called me in his office to counsel me, and so he was getting me hard, man. He was like, that foolishness. You need to sit down from the choir. He was on my head. He was on my head tough. And I was feeling really, really bad. Sister Hampton was sitting in the hallway outside. Sister Hampton, for those that don't know, on Rockwell Street, Sister Hampton was always crocheting or picking something off something. She would always sit on the little heater just outside. Well, the back room where the fireplace was, Pastor Hampton, that's where he kind of counseled. And I was getting it. I was getting it hard. Sister Hampton opened that big door and she walked in. She said, what's going on here? And I had my head down and Brad was telling her all this. She said, Frank, did you tell him that you were talking to two girls when I met you? I'm trying to say somebody's soul right now. I'm trying to say somebody's soul right now. We got that. But, so it was real personal to me, but it helped me because I had a chance to see not only the spiritual side, but the thing about Brother Hampton has been most impressive. And traveling around with singing, I've been to probably every type of church, around every type of pastor you could possibly see. Anything that he talked to me about, anything he spoke to me about, whether it was financial, whether it was for raising a family, whether it was about how you dress, whether it was about your shoes, anything he talked to me about, he lived that. He lived that. If he said don't eat chocolate, he didn't eat chocolate. Just plain and simple. That's just who he was. That's what he imparted to me. When he talked about supplying your family and making sure you had the needs for your family, one time we started to have a bunch of children, me and my wife, and we were struggling, dealing with what I needed to do financially. Yes, he said, okay, I'm going to show you how to do this. So he comes by my house at 5:30 in the morning. We finna go get some eggs from Polly's. Cracked eggs and stuff. So I got up with that morning, and I went with Brad. I'm sleeping. He had full strength. Everybody at Polly's knows him today. We grabbed eggs and Denny cans and all. This is the stuff he did. At the Hampton's house, there were always a pantry. Me and Val used to sneak in fruit cocktails and stuff down there at the table all the time. So I didn't realize that these things were happening at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so I went for about 2 mornings. That was it. That was about it. I got this just stuff I wasn't cut out to do. But I just want to say from my heart, from my family, a lot of the things that I know as a man, I mean from the time of how I shine my shoes, or how I get up and make sure my boy's hair is cut, or the type of shoes. My first pair of Stacey Adams, Brother Hampton wear Stacey Adams shoes. I want Stacey Adams shoes. Here I am, 13, 14 years old, walking around with pointy toes, show Stacey Adams shoes. But I wanted that shine on them, and just this family, this to me, and there's just so many times with my mother and my sister when we were growing up, there's some really, really difficult times. I don't want to go into a lot of that because I want it to be about Brother Hampton. And he traveled to Ypsilanti. It didn't matter what time of day. It didn't matter what time of night. He was always there for us. I think I've been at the Hampton's house. I stayed there so much that Sister Hampton literally gave me a job. She kind of knew I liked playing with fire and stuff, so my job was to burn the trash in the backyard. But I had a literal job there. And even in that, Brother Hampton was the one to make sure if you're doing this, and Lee said something the other day that Brother Hampton kind of always emphasized about details, where if you're detailed in your life and the benefit and how it will help you. The other day we went and visited with him. But Hampton's always been a great singer. And for me as a male, that sang, that was huge to me. And I'm holding it together here, y'all. I'm not going to do it. I know y'all thinking I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But I went to his house and we were singing some of those songs, Dixie Hummingbirds and stuff. And everybody, what happened in church is like stout, stern, militaristic, and everything. But when you get him, when he gets that guitar out and he can sing, and you find out, actually, when you talk to like old church guy people from Detroit, they kind of know him. Me and Lee ran into a guy in Lansing at the State Capitol building. They know him from singing. Those things. And we were singing these old songs, and I'm always saying, we're happy to make sure you pray for me. And I don't know what's going to be my thing for me. But he said that we got done. I said, Brad, just wait for me. And the one thing he said, well, I know I'm going to be all right. He said, John, he said, I got you. To me, I just met somebody that's next to God for me. Said, I got you in prayers. And that's what I think about Brother and Pastor Andrew, just keep me in your prayers.
I wouldn't want this service to go by without saying some words about my pastor. I got saved in 73. I moved here in 74. And I didn't know at the time that when I was living in Detroit, my Uncle Henry, he married Brother and Sister Hampton, and they worked together in River Rouge, the Church of God there, and my aunt was her bridesmaid. And so as time went on, I think, you know, I had several pastors. I knew several Church of God ministers and had several pastors in the Church of God movement. But I can truly say of all those pastors, Brother Hampton is the only one that held out to the end. You know, Raymond Jackson, he had a pastorship of 1,000 members, knew every baby, child by name, but he didn't hold out to the end. Massey and Tyrone Cushman and Benjamin Reed didn't hold out to the end. And Brother Hampton is the only minister that has never taken a text on you, that has never thrown off when he preaches about you. He's never thrown off. I've seen him talked about. It's called Hamptonites. I've seen people say all kinds of things about him, and I watched him. And those people that had wronged him, he went out of his way to greet them.
Yes.
He made sure he didn't give any space to the devil. He's the only pastor that I felt comfortable with one-on-one. I mean, I've never seen anything at all out of him but Church of God, standing for the truth and the right. And I just want to give these accolades to my pastor because he's worth it all, and I appreciate him.
I don't want to prolong the service, but I've been with Pastor Hampton for 43 years, 44 years. I was saved down in Belleville, Michigan, and he came to our church for a revival. And he brought some of his saints, and I looked upon them, and they looked so different from what we looked like. And I thought, wonder where they're from. And when I found out that they were from Jackson, I said, I'm going to their church. So the next Sunday, I came here to Jackson. That was in 1974. I came here to Jackson, and that service, I was claiming salvation. That service, I got baptized. We had feet washing, and we had the Lord's Supper, all in one day. And I felt like I had been to heaven. And from that point on, I came, and he has been my pastor since then. And he has not only been a pastor to me, but he's been a real friend. There's been times that I've had some excruciating situations I've had to go through, and I tell him, I said, I don't need a pastor right now.